Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining me for my second kinstretch kinstretch on the porch class. I just want to say thanks to those of you who tuned in for my first class, and I appreciate the comments and the support and the sharing. So keep it coming, and let me know kind of what you'd like to see next. Today I want to work on kind of feet, ankles, knees, a little bit of hips. I have a long day of standing ahead of me, so I want to really warm up those joints and get everything ready for the day. So what I want to start with, and hopefully I can get some framing set up here, start with the toes. So with the right foot here, I'm just going to start by trying to spread my toes apart and then squish them together. Spread them apart as wide as you can. Try and keep them down on the ground, and then squish them because we're trying to not extend them up. Just spread them out as wide as you can get them. You might not be able to move all your toes just yet. That's totally fine. Now I'll try and extend just the big toe. Bring it down and extend all the other toes. And back down. One more time. Bring the big toe up and down. And then the other 4 toes, lift them up, trying to keep the rest of the foot down. And relax. So another way I like to warm up the foot is a friend of mine called these foot waves. So we're going to bring the foot up towards the face, dorsiflexion, extend the toes back. We're going to keep the toes extended and plantar flex the foot down, and then flex the toes. Bring the whole thing back up, keeping the toes flexed, and then extend the toes all the way back. Plantar flex the ankle, keeping the toes extended, and then flex the toes at the very end. So one more time, bringing the whole foot up with the toes curled. I haven't had my coffee yet. And then extend the toes and plantar flex the foot. Now keep the toes extended, and from here we'll bring the foot back up and then flex the toes and then point the foot down, plantar flexion. So extend the toes up, dorsiflex the foot, flex the toes, and point back down. One more time like that. Just trying to get all the little pieces moving independently of each other. So now we can do some ankle circles. So from here, I just start by bringing my foot in and then down, and I'm just trying to again paint the biggest circle I can, trying to keep my toes relaxed as best as I can, really focusing on all the movement coming from right here, right in my ankle. There's a little bit of subtalar motion, that's okay. Just warming everything up. Nice, smooth, easy circles. And then go the other direction. Nice big circles. So you are trying to find this balance between pushing for the biggest circle possible, but also keeping it pain-free and relatively calm and easy for this morning routine. So now that we've done that ankle circle, we can do a knee circle. Oh, hi Jeremy, thanks for tuning in. So for the knee circle, this is where it gets a little tricky because our knee does more than just this hinging up and down. We get a little bit of tibial rotation as well. So we're going to try and add that rotation in It might be really challenging, you might not be able to feel it, but just keep trying because you'll get there. So first, we'll bring the tibia, rotate the shin in. So your ankle might come along for the ride, and that's okay. We're going to extend the knee as much as you can get it, and then rotate the tibia out. Then we're going to flex the knee and bring it back down all the way. So a few of those. Rotate the tibia, extend the knee, and out and back down. And Jeremy's saying something. Thanks for the 8:30. Oh, you're welcome. Gotta sleep in a little bit. Had a bit of connectivity issues, so I'm on a different spot on my porch today. I was a little worried I'd have to go back inside and then I wouldn't be able to call it kinstretch on the porch. But we'll manage to sneak through just on this other part of the deck. So now we'll go the other way. Tibia out, and then extend up. Rotate the tibia in, and flex the knee back down. Rotate, extend, rotate, and flex. I think maybe one more time. I always lose count with these. You might feel a little bit of shakiness, that's totally fine, especially since we're trying to extend the knee with this hip in a maximally flexed position. You're probably not going to be able to get full knee extension, but that's okay. We're just trying to get this rotation piece warmed up a little bit. So that's the knee, and then we can move on to the hip. So for the hip, in the morning I like to lie down. Hopefully you guys can see this. We'll play around with it. So, let's see, starting on your back, we're going to bring the hip up and flex it all the way. I hope you guys can still hear me. And then bringing the hip across your body, but keeping your pelvis on the ground. So we're not letting this happen, this big rolling, just getting the femur across the body. We're going to internally rotate that femur, and when you get down to the bottom, try and keep it all the way internally rotated. So if you look at my foot, it's all the way internally rotated. Pretend I'm down here still. So then at the bottom, again, pretend I'm down at the bottom, we're going to rotate the foot out and then drag it back up until we get as high as we can. And this is where it gets a little challenging. We're going to try and bring the knee, keep bringing it up and then over. So we're still trying to get more range of motion with each rep. And then all the way down across the body, internally rotate the thigh and then externally rotate before you start dragging the leg up and out. So we're doing this whole circle with our thigh bone, and the rest of our leg is just kind of going along for the ride. The biggest challenge that people have is they'll use arching of the lower back or rotating of the torso to try and cheat. So if you struggle, you can add a little bit more resistance to the rest of your body, squeezing your fists, tightening the muscles of the opposite leg to kind of stabilize the rest of you and make it easier to focus on just this guy moving. So now we'll go backwards, keeping the thigh rotated in, drag it up across your body, and then bring it up and out to the side. So here, try and keep your foot off the ground if your knee is not touching the ground, but if you can't and you have to put your foot down on the floor, that's okay, it's not a big deal. One more time this way, up, across. Oh, hi. This is midnight. He was feeling jealous, I guess, that he wasn't in the last video. Yeah, buddy, you want to do some stretches? Yeah, I think you do. So that's it for the right hip. And now we can do all of those things on the left side. So, starting with the toes, we'll try and just spread them apart and squish them back together. So I'm really just trying to get this abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, but of my toes. And it's really hard because it's really hard to isolate different pieces of your toes and your feet. But we'll just keep trying anyway. And then extend the big toe and bring it down. Extend the other 4 toes. I can't really do it very well on this side. And bring them back down. One more time, extend the big toe and down. I still have a cat over here. I don't know if you can see. Oh, he's kind of in the frame. And extend the other toes and back down. So now back to the ankle. We're gonna I just grab my leg here just to make it a little bit easier. This can be wherever, this opposite leg. Just try and sit up straight so that you're not completely slouched, but just in a comfortable position is fine. And so now we'll rotate the foot in, down, and out, and up. So do a few of those. It's super tricky to keep your toes still and quiet, but try to. Just don't get discouraged if you're not able to perfectly dissociate 2 joints yet. This is a super tricky movement, and we basically have learned to walk around in casts all day in our shoes. So most of us have lost the ability to do this. It just takes a little bit of time and effort and consistent practice to get it back. So don't give up. Just keep working at it. Nice. So those are the ankles. Oh, I forgot the foot wave. So for the foot wave on this side, that's my favorite thing. We're going to plantar flex the foot down, keep the toes extended, and then flex the toes. Keep the toes flexed, dorsiflex the foot, extend the toes. Flex the foot down, flex the toes, keep them flexed, bring the foot up. Extend the toes, flex the foot, flex the toes. Now we'll go backwards. So extend the toes, dorsiflex the foot, and then flex the toes, and then plantar flex the foot. Extend, dorsiflex, flex, plantar flex. One more time. Okay, so that's our whole foot ankle stuff, and we can move on to the knee. So again, tricky movement. You're not going to get tons of movement with this rotation, and you're probably going to get more ankle movement at first to begin with, just because it's tough to really access this movement in this non-weight bearing position. It's not something we do on a regular basis, so we're just not that great at it until you practice it. Bye. Bored the cat enough for him to take off. So we'll start with rotation in, and then extend as much as you can, rotate out, and then flex down. Rotate in, and extend, out, and down. And one more time, rotate in, and extend, rotate out, and flex down. Now we'll go the other way. Just keeping the tibia rotated out. We'll extend. Oh, I'm shaky on this side. Rotate the tibia in and flex the knee down. Again, rotate, extend, flex, down, rotate, extend, and flex, down. So, oh, then Kingsley's here, and now she's gone. It's just like a zoo over here sometimes. So for the hip on this left side, again, we'll start with the knee, with the thigh rotated in. So my foot is pointing that way, and then I'm going to bring my knee up and across my body, keeping my pelvis and my back still on the floor. If you need to, make a fist and kind of tighten the rest of your body. And then open the knee out to the side. Again, keep this down, so don't let it will want to do this. Try and keep it nice and still on the floor. And then extend, going down, keeping the thigh externally rotated all the way at the bottom, from like this. And now I'm going to internally rotate the thigh before I bring the whole leg up again. So up and across, and then open out to the side, and then slide it down the floor. Rotate the thigh in, bring it up and across, open out to the side, and then down, sliding down to meet the other leg. So now we'll go the other way, keeping the thigh rotated out, so I'm staying this way to start. Drag the foot up, out to the side, and then when you get as high as you can go, bring the knee across the body, still trying to bring it up towards the face. Really pulling for more range of motion, and then across, again, not letting your whole body rotate, and then slide it all the way down. So we're ending with our leg extended and internally rotated. So that's this way, rotated in. Then we're going to rotate out before we start dragging it up, opening it out to the side. Up and across, and down, and extending hip. We'll do one more this way, dragging it up, and bugging over and across. Extending all the way. So now our hips are nice and warmed up. We've got everything from the toes all the way up to the hips. And again, I wanted this to just be a nice short intro morning wake-up routine, so just to get you started. And next time maybe I'll do some spine. Or we can go back and do more shoulders. I don't know. Let me know what you want to do. for the next kinstretch in the on the porch morning routine. Thanks so much for tuning in, and hope you have a great day. Happy Tuesday.